In this episode, once again, we're speaking to the amazing Allyson Scammell. Allyson is a master intuitive coach and a soul guide to spiritual leaders and entrepreneurs. She has coached and mentored thousands of women in the realm of spiritual growth and business growth, launched a top-tier podcast, and created thriving support communities for soul-guided entrepreneurs in 3 countries. And today we're speaking to Allyson to find out how you can become a soul client magnet. Let's find out. Welcome. This is Gull, your money mindset expert. And once again, we have the absolutely fantastic Allyson Scammell. Welcome, Allyson.
So excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming back, Allyson. We had the most interesting conversation I had in a long time. And for those of you who haven't listened to her Friday feature, please do go and check that out. It was one of the most amazing episodes we recorded. So do go and check it out. But today, Allyson, once again, everybody's heard your intro. They know how fabulous you are. But in your own words, tell everybody what it is that you do.
I am an intuitive business coach for soul-guided entrepreneurs. I'm also a spiritual mentor who helps people who feel like they're here in service and they want to heal and reach their full potential, and I help them find their path.
Wonderful. So Allyson, we talked about our spiritual journeys and how to help people, but today's topic is all about how to become soul client magnet, because if you are here to help people, we want to get paid for it too. I mean, I'm a money person, so I'm always going to talk about money, that money is the exchange of energies we need to have. And by the way, for those people, this is my personal experience, and I've seen it time and time again. If people don't pay for your services, they don't value it. And I've seen it time and time again when I've given, when they come for 12 months, I've given them an additional 6 months. There's one person comes to mind. I've given them 6 extra months. So the 12 months I gave them, they came every single month. 6 months extra, not a single
nothing.
They've done nothing. So this is so important that you attract the right clients to you who are willing to pay for your services, because that's the only way you can serve your clients. So I just wanted to interject that quickly. So tell us, Allyson, how do we become our client magnets for our soul clients?
Yeah, so I love what you said, and I want to also add, if you don't charge enough, you will attract the wrong client, because now getting to your question, it's about that energetic frequency we put out. So anytime you put out content for your business, an offering, a podcast episode, a blog post, a social media post, there is an energy to it. There's maybe you're teaching something, offering something, sharing a personal story. That story has an energy. And what we want to do, and whatever it is we share for our audience, and this is true whether you sell t-shirts or you're a coach or a healer, like it really, really holds true for all products, all services. You really want to tap into your heart, tap into your higher self, that voice of your inner self, and really feel, that passion inside of you, kind of that connects to your unique genius, and getting to that place of both, what do I really feel called to share, which might feel a little scary and edgy to share, and married with when I really sink into my body and I feel into who I am most excited to serve, what do they most need from me and want from me in this moment. And when you really go to that heart-led, heart-guided place where when you're creating, you're so excited to create it because you're creating something you're passionate about. It's from your genius, and it's designed for that person that you're most excited to serve. You're going to create something pretty extraordinary. It won't be extraordinary for everyone. Some people might not get it at all, but for your dream clients and customers and your soul client, which I call your soul clients and customers, it is going to light them up. And that's the energetic signal. You're putting out the signal to the right person. And when you do that, you don't even really need to sell, because that signal is going to turn you into a magnet. And the whole sales process, from the funnel, if you will, from a person not knowing you at all to investing in your highest invest, your premium offerings, there is going to be an ease and flow to that journey that will, I don't know about most people, but for me, it leaves me in sort of an awe state every time it happens.
Wonderful. Wonderful. It does. So how do we start off with it? What's the first step? I mean, what's the first step in this direction?
Yes. So what I said was very pretty and very nice. And you get to the question, okay, that's nice, Allyson. Well, how do we do that?
Basically, we want to unpack it now and give them a guidance system for it.
Exactly. So I am the queen of 5-step processes. So I like to take kind of sometimes complicated, intuitive processes and boil them down to 5 steps that are very easy and accessible for all people, whether you consider yourself highly, highly intuitive or not intuitive at all. So I invite you to come along with me on these 5 steps, because really, really, this is anybody can tap into their intuitive gifts using these 5 steps. Okay. And that's what we're doing. We're tapping into your intuitive gifts because we want to get guidance and get clarity on, well, what do I feel called to share? To whom do I feel called to share it? And what does this person, what does my ideal client really need and want from me in this moment? Well, there's a way to get that information without sending a survey out to 100 people and talking to everyone in your audience. There's a way to get this information first, energetically, intuitively. And that is always the most beautiful place to start. So whenever you want to connect into your intuitive gifts, you want to think about embodiment. We connect to our gifts inside the body. So the first step, always, 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 is deep breaths. And you want to take some long, deep breaths in and out of the lower part of the belly. And just really start coming into the present moment. You want to start quieting that thinking mind, which is going to really struggle to calculate what the answer should be. And we don't want to do any calculations here. We want to get heart-led intuitive guidance is what we're looking for to really become the soul client magnet. So step 1 is deep breathing, coming into the present moment and just being here in this moment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I call step 2 the pivot down. And this is when you want to pivot down, sink into that body, and you want to place your awareness on your heart space. If you're someone who gets a lot of gut responses, if you're someone who likes to go with your gut, you can also tune into that gut intuitive point that you will probably feel it's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. But either way, you're sunk in, you're connected to your heart space, connected to that solar plexus gut area. Just sinking ever deeper into the present moment. And then you want to go to step 3. And in step 3, you just want to set the intention to connect to your ideal client or your soul client or customer avatar. And if you're brand new to biz, perfect. You don't need to know a thing about him or her or them. Let the energy guide you. In fact, this is a beautiful process to do if you're new and you're not really sure, and or you've been at this for a while and you're pivoting. Maybe you feel like your ideal client avatar is shifting, because they always shift, right, throughout business. And either wherever you are on your journey, this is such a brilliant thing to do from time to time. So you're just connecting to your soul client avatar, letting your energy guide you, and let the energy take you wherever it wishes you to go. Because maybe you're being called to a pivot that you don't even realize. That happened to me last year. I was always the intuitive business coach. And then about a year ago, I was going through this very process, and my intuition said, oh, okay, we're going to take you to a new soul client avatar. Her name is Rose, and she's not a business owner. And I'm like, what? Say what now? I work with business owners only. And that's when I realized my business was opening up to include people who are just interested in learning about spirituality. So I was having 2 audiences, 2 ideal client avatars, really. So let the energy guide. And if you're new to this, and if you're new to using your intuition, be open, be curious. There's no wrong way to do it. When you're not sure, use your best guess. That's all we ever do anyway. No matter how much evidence is stacked in front of you, you're still always using your best guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So then you go to step 4. And this is the ask question. So you're in your heart, you're connected to your heart space, you're connected to your soul client avatar, and you just ask questions. If you're really new to using your intuition to do this kind of work, it's probably best to start with yes, no questions. Start with very, very simple questions. If you're feeling bold and you've like, oh, I use my intuition all the time for different things in my life or whatever, you can start with simply, what is your name, soul client avatar? And then it's just the process of asking questions. And I always like to ask my soul client avatar questions in 3 categories. The first categories are getting to know her pains. So this is kind of typical business stuff, getting to know her pain points. And it's always not just her pain points, but it's her pain points that you and your offerings are uniquely designed to alleviate, shift, heal, or evolve. So, what are your pain points that my offerings are uniquely designed to help you alleviate or feel relief from or solve? Yeah. And then, so asking questions about pains, how does that feel? How does that affect your life? And these are all basic questions you would ask someone in a business survey, but you're just doing it intuitively first. Mm-hmm. Then you want to go to desires. Well, what could my offer, what desires could my offerings really help you to achieve? How would that make you feel? How would that make your life better? How would your life be if you don't get your desires? Like, what's the cost here? These type of questions. And then lastly, super important, and this is the stuff, so the first 2 categories of questions, the pains, the desires, that's the kind of stuff that often you're going to want to put on a sales page or a social media post. The needs here, this is the last category. What do you need from me on a soul level? This is probably the most important question, but this is the stuff that may or may not appear on the sales page, but you're going to want to know. And this is going to be part of the energetic signal you're putting out. Like, she needs this from me on a soul level. So, this is when you kind of get to the heart of it. And this need, so the soul client avatar herself may not realize she needs this, but if you have this energy in your heart as you're creating for her, she's going to pick up on it. And she may have conscious awareness that, oh, I need that, but she may not realize she needs it, but it's still going to draw her towards you. So it's the pains, the wants, the needs. I do this goal before I create anything, any podcast episode. And literally, well, I've done it so many times now, but it lasts. If it's a new offering, okay, I spend more time with it. If it's a podcast episode, I've done, 200 podcast episodes, it's 5 minutes, and I'm still in creative flow and, creative response, but I just kind of drop in. Well, what are your pains that this episode could help you alleviate? What are your desires? I did it before I started recording this episode, and I tuned into your audience to see what are their pains, what are their desires, what are their needs from me that I'm uniquely designed to help them with. So
that is so powerful. And I think it's that pause before you take action. I think that's very important. And if you actually take that pause a little longer and put intention behind it in the way you're doing, then you can come up with answers. And instead of wasting, an hour doing something frivolous, you can spend maybe half an hour doing something productive, which will, help you to connect with your ideal clients, connect with the ideal audience. Because I think this is so important. We talk about connecting to your soul clients, but it's not just because financial remuneration, of course, they'll be willing to pay you a lot easier compared to someone who's ahhing. But it's more important that I don't want people to just pay me. I want people to get results with me. And this is so important. Not everybody, doesn't matter how nice you are, how brilliant you think your methodology is, how fantastic they are. Because I think my methodology is brilliant, and my engineering is just, out of this world. But it's not for everybody. And I fully accept that. So the reason with this, I think this methodology or this technique, the strategies, what you just mentioned is so important, is we need to connect with people who are not just willing to pay us, who would actually benefit by working with us. Because what's the point of just taking someone's money if you can't help them? I don't see the point in that, because you'll have to refund them or whatever else, or if nothing else, it'll cause bad blood. yes, you will have people who are coming through who will, who are the right clients, but they just become lazy or something else happens and they don't do the work. We all get some of those. That's just part of, the economic process. That's how businesses work. But if vast majority of your clients are not your ideal clients because you haven't tuned into the process you just went through, then there's an issue. There's a problem, right? There's a problem because I tell you, the reason why I say this is so important in business. I'm not against many things. I'm just so easygoing with most things. One I'm against is this bro marketing, which happens a lot in our online space. And they don't give a toss about it with the ideal clients. They just care about who they can scam and how much money they can make and what kind of empty promises they'll do. So they'll give you all these promises and, this happens, that happens. And they're false promises, right? Honestly, let's just be very clear about it. And they've made millions. Some, I can name them from top of mind. These are people who've got the Russell Brunson's 10x, plaques on their walls. These are the kind of people I'm talking about. And it's because they'll go ahead and they'll have sales team who will give out these empty promises. I don't know whether they authorize it or they've not trained the sales team properly and the sales team are giving false promises. I don't know what it is. But the whole problem is they get a lot of clients, but they're not able to get the result for their clients because they haven't tapped into the right sort of client. And this is why I think your work is so important, because not only do you want to get clients, you want to get the right clients.
It's so true.
And I suppose these bro marketers need to learn more about intuitive marketing, because then they can instead of making false criminal promises, which by the way, I think because our coaching industry is very, very heavily regulated, it needs more regulation. If it was regulated, those people would be kicked out, because honestly, the guarantees are false. They promised by written guarantee. There's no such thing as that. They just when you ask for it, like, sorry, we don't issue guarantees. Whatever, which I have my issues with that kind of marketing and that kind of bro marketing people. But I think if they actually tuned in and to exactly the person you said and marketed to their ideal clients, that wouldn't be, you and I wouldn't fit in that bill anyway. But then they would be much better because they'll be able to get results for those people. That's my thing. It's not about just attracting clients, it's about attracting the people who you can serve.
Yes.
Coaching should be about serving, not about making money. Yes, I'm all about making money. You have to make money on the side, but it shouldn't be the sole purpose of you running a business, because there's so many different ways to make money.
Yeah.
Coaching is such a hard profession. You only do it when you really have passion for helping people in whatever niche, in whatever in section you're doing it. But you have to have this, I'm going to make a difference in someone's life. I was talking to one of my clients today, and over the last 2 years, financially, she hasn't made as much money as some other clients, but she has transformed who she is. And I'm so proud of who she is. She's, finally managed to get over, she has made quite a lot of money, but it's not been by setting up a business, which she wanted to. She just ended up having lots of windfalls for various things because she's opened up to abundance. But the kind of person she's become, she's gone from a people pleaser and, from abusive marriage to someone who's strong, who's, speaks up and is looking to make passive income. And her character development is just beyond any financial remuneration she could have had. That's kind of people that makes me more happy than the other client who's told me they've made $500,000. It's just, it's that impact you had on someone's life. And this is the only way you can have an impact on someone's life, is when you connect to those people who will get the most benefit from you. You and I both, we probably be in the similar niche, but we'll have different clientele, because people who connect to you will not connect to me. So this element of competition is non-existent.
No, because our ideal people are picking up on my unique energy, and your people are picking up on your unique energy. And I really couldn't agree more. And I am all about earning money. And I believe we need the energetic exchange of money, and we need to charge what we're worth. And I totally agree. When you attract the wrong person, and I think anybody who's been in business for any amount of time, it just happens, right? And you don't mean to, but I've had it in I don't have it very often anymore because my energy's so clean.
Yeah, I don't have it very often right now either, but you still get through people coming through. It's one or two, and it's unfortunate, but you do.
Yeah, and it very makes you, and it's like when it happens, you're like, oh wow, that's when you realize it's just not about the money. Because something you love to do, if you have a difficult client, all of a sudden is like, oh, I don't love to do this. And I'm not looking forward to this client. And boy, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it was nice to get her money or his money for paying for my program, but wow, this is not a fun experience anymore. And it's not fun for me and it's not fun for them because they're probably not having the experience they want. So yeah, it really is about attracting that right person. And the other thing too, and I totally agree with you about the bro marketing, I believe one of the reasons the bro marketers are expensive is because they're good at marketing. A lot of them, and they know how to market, and they know how to, consumer psychology and to get the buzz points. And a lot of them have money to invest in marketing. Well, I am, I run a very successful business that does very well, but I don't want to spend all of my time marketing, and I don't want to drain all of my profit into marketing. But that just doesn't excite me. I want to have a nice profit, and I want to do other things in my business than market. Well, this process of putting out the right signal and magnetizes enables you to grow your business, scale your business, not just grow to 6 figures, multi-6 figures, but scale to 7 figures, multi-7 figures using, a little bit of ad money here and there if you feel called for it, but using energy, using passion, using connection, using service, attracting the right people, getting them spectacular results because you guys are a soul match from, business to client perspective. And then the referral networks get cranked up, and that's when really magical growth and scaling can happen without all that money in it for advertising, and not you spending all of your day just being a marketing and ads manager type person.
I think I love that. I think this is so important. I think it depends what your goals are for your business as well. I don't believe it's just about being marketing. I think the messaging is so important. If I'm not your ideal client, then let me go.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't manipulate me into coming to you. But if I am, there's a fine line here as well. You'll know this. If someone's your ideal client, but they're hesitating to taking the leap of faith and coming to work with you, then you can, show them incentive, and you can, help them, push them a little bit in a nice way, because then, some people need the extra help. But there are other times where, someone's just not the right client for you. I think instead of asking them and manipulating them to becoming a client, that's when you just let them go and say, I'm not the coach for you at the moment, at least at the moment.
That is so powerful. And that's such a hard thing to do, especially at the beginning of your journey, because you're like, you just want clients. And I don't think it ever gets easy to have someone who's like, oh, I'm willing to invest in your premium offering. And you say to them, oh, well, I don't think, I think there's always going to be a little, at least for me anyway, I always feel like, oh, but this is a client, but I know they're not a good fit. But I'm now to the point where I will always, always tell a person, well, I don't think I'm thrilled you're interested. I don't think that this is the right product or service for you because XYZ. And I notice when I do that, it's like, I think this happens 100% of the time now when this, when I say, when this happens, the next day, a soul client shows up out of nowhere. It's like the universe rewards you for being honest about who you can serve and who you can't serve, and what you've done. You said no to someone who's probably a very beautiful person, so it's not anything wrong with them. It's just that they're not the right fit. And you say, you're honest with yourself, you're honest with them. You're not, I think this isn't a right fit. Maybe you can recommend them to something else that's a better fit. You've created space. You've created space in your business, in your life, for that perfect person to slide in. And that space is so hot because you've already had someone in there saying, I'm willing to invest. Like, it literally is only a matter of time before the perfect person arrives right in that spot.
Agreed. I think, but you have to really connect to that soul person that you want to work with, or you want to serve. And I think this is where, it's great to do surveys and speak to people, but I find when I was doing this marketing research, people don't really know what they want a lot of the times, so how can I serve you more? I'm not really sure. What else can I do for you? I'm not really sure. So a lot of the time, I think I found it a waste of time doing market research. I always found when I tuned into my ideal clients, okay, if I was in their position, what would I need from you, Gull? What could you give? And the answers that I come up with are always a lot more powerful than when I ask someone, what do you want? How can I serve you better? What else can I do? And it's just most of the times like, no, I think everything's fine. You know, this is okay. I think you covered everything, and you do, because obviously we cover all the grounds. That's the whole point of having a great offer. But if you want to improve it, failing short of doing one-to-one, which I refuse to do. I do offer a few one-to-one for the mastermind people, just as a supplement to the mastermind. I don't want to be working with one-to-one. It's just not my calling. But this is where I think the best way to serve people is to understand them, and then let your intuition guide you where to go. And this is why I think your 5-step process is really, really powerful, because this will probably give you better answers than you speaking to 10 of your clients and trying to work out what can you give them, and they're like, I don't know.
Yes, 100%. People don't know. And especially that, what do you need? They really, I mean, most of us, I don't know what I need half the time. Like, no. That's what I want my coaches that I hire. I want them to help me uncover, like, what do I need, you know, at this point in my business or this point in my life. So yeah, it's not always, it's always so much more accurate. And as you said, getting to the heart of it, when you go straight to that intuitive channel, and you had made such a good point earlier about, like, okay, you collect the information, like, what does your soul client need and want in this moment before you, say, draft a social media post. It will take you, when you kind of get used to doing this, it will cut the time that you draft that post by a fraction of the time. Because you just, like, it when you really get into this, it, like, lights this passion inside of you. I just picked, my good friend Whitney McNeil has this beautiful oracle card deck, and I just picked the fire card. This is what's making me think of, and it's like, indulge in your passion, spirit is lightning, a fire under your ass. And this is how I feel like lately in my business. Like, yeah, I'm fire. I just want to, like, share this spark. And because this is how I feel like being very passionate in my business right now, really being a little bit edgy, going for it. I don't always feel this way, but I feel this way right now. And this card really kind of
symbolizes it. Yeah.
And that, I notice, like, I'm just, like, putting these bursts of stuff out to my people, and people are just grabbing it because that's what my people are looking for right now. And I notice that as I align to this, it's just like content is just coming out of me. Things that would take me 2 hours to create are now taking like 20 minutes. I'm like, I love this because I'm listening, I'm aligning. Maybe in a couple weeks, I'll be water and I just want to flow and be soft and be calm and be in my inner cave. But following that, there's like 3 things I see. It's like a trifecta. It's you and your heart and your energy. It's what's happening in the soul client. And then it's really the offering. You know, your offering, your business, your content, the thing that kind of is connecting you. And you really want to have a love for all 3. You know, the love triad, the love for yourself, the love for your client, the love for your offering. And when those 3 energies are coming together in alignment, and you're following what is lighting you up in this moment, that's when the magnetism really, like the signal of your magnetism gets boosted, and you really start to call cool people in and, you know, get into that flow where you're creating a lot of content with a real ease and flow. Agreed.
I definitely think so. I think you, once you tune into what you desire, because what the old age, it's all become a cliche now. What you seek is seeking you. So the clients that you are trying to attract are looking for someone like you. The number of times I've heard people say to me, my God, I've been looking for you. I've been looking for someone like you for the last 2 years or for a year. And I've been asking the universe, and all of a sudden you popped into my new, Facebook feed or something else, or someone referred you, or they found my book on Amazon or something. Whatever the kind of clients you are seeking someone like you, but you have to become clear as to who can you serve. And I really want to emphasize this point. Yes, I want you to make a lot of money, and and the more you charge, actually, the more you can serve your clients. By the way, that's another point. The more you charge, the more you help your clients. It's large exchange of energies. But the point is, you are coming from an energy of serving. You are serving your clients. You are helping your clients. The end goal isn't how many thousands you can have in your bank account. The end goal is how many people can you serve to live in a more abundant life, be it whatever area, business, personal, relationships, health, whatever, whichever area, it doesn't really matter. But the point, end goal should be, who can I serve? Who can I help to live a better life? I think that has to be your key. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap this up, my lovely. Tell everybody, Allyson, where can we find you? How can we connect with you?
Thank you for asking, and thank you for this opportunity. You have such a beautiful energy, and I love how you frame things and talk about things. And what a very, very brilliant podcast that you have launched out into the world. So you can find me at AllysonScammell.com, and I have a lovely, lovely podcast called Soul Guide Radio, where I talk about spirituality. I talk about running a spiritual business, and we talk about energy, soul client attraction, and other such things. And you can also join my Facebook community at the Soul Guide Circle. And we are soul guided leaders and entrepreneurs who are coming together to earn more, serve more, and grow spiritually along the way.
Fabulous, brilliant. If you're listening to some podcast, the links that Allyson has just mentioned would be on the show notes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then down below in the description section, we'll have all the links to what you just mentioned anyway. Go check out her podcast. I'm a guest on her podcast too, so you get to listen to me over there. But it is an amazing podcast. I went on there, I think, a couple of years ago, and we'll be coming on there shortly again. Check out her website and see how she can help you build a better business. Thank you so much for being such an amazing guest once again, Allyson. It's been a pleasure having you.
Oh, it's been so lovely. Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening to me and Allyson today. I will be back with another amazing guest, another Money Talkies segment, finding out how you and I can build a better business. Until the next time you meet, this is Gull signing off. Take care and bye for now.